Wormhole's going live. 3, 2.
This is The Wormhole, presented by Team FearWorm. Interviews, education, anything and everything to do with Halloween and haunted houses. And of course, marketing.
Hey everybody, welcome to Friday. You know it's Friday, it's the Wormhole, and we have a special one today. But before we get all that, I want to bring in two other people that are joining me today that are going to co-host this episode with me. And first, I'm going to bring in, as everybody knows, Mr. Patrick Stanger, co-founder of FearWorm. Patrick, how are you on this Friday?
I'm great, man. How are you doing, Tyler?
I'm good. I'm glad it's Friday. It has been a busy week. So
it's
busy because like all other vendors in the industry, we're all getting ready for Transworld, and that's what we're talking about today. I'm going to bring in our other co-founder and fearless leader, Mr. Ernest Porter, who's going to co-host this episode with me.
Hey, Tyler.
How are you?
Hey, Patrick. I'm great, man. Glad to be here.
Are you excited for Transworld?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I mean, it's kind of like our big work holiday, you know, it's like get ready for it and then get ready for what comes after it. So yeah, it's exciting. It's real.
You're just looking forward to the bar.
No, man, I stopped drinking like 4 days ago. So
he's getting ready. He's prepping.
Seriously?
I'm saving up for the bar. Yeah,
you picked the wrong time to quit drinking.
Yeah.
And sniffing glue.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. It's always a good time at Transworld. It's just like goes by so fast, you know. It's like a big giant whirlwind. I always say I'm gonna walk the floor and check everything out, and
never happens.
I'm excited for it because I feel like we're ready for it more than maybe in the past, you know?
Yeah, we're definitely way ahead of schedule on things. I know many things we worked on. We're done in December. We actually have, I know we'll talk maybe a little bit more about this, but we have an expanded booth that's awesome, and it's done, it's built, and it's looking great. So yeah, you know, there's a lot to talk about. And on that, because I don't want to talk too much about Transworld without our two most important people for the day. And that is Jen and Rich from Transworld. They're joining us right now. So Jen, Rich, how are you all? Are you all going crazy? Are you like chickens with your head cut off? Like, what's going on?
Yes, all of it. There's no sleep. There's no eating. There's no anything. We are, what did we say, 13 days out? And we leave in like a week. So it's insanity.
Yeah, same. So so right now I'm currently in our apartment in Texas, but like all of our FearWorm booth stuff and supplies, they're all at my house in Kentucky. And so so this weekend we drive to Kentucky. I prep the booth, and we're there for a week, and then on Monday we load the U-Haul, head to St. Louis. So it's going to be a crazy travel time.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on, you know, trying to get ready for this thing. We've got an office that we're building.
It looks great.
That's kind of cool. Something different, just like a place to sit inside, like in that back booth, you know, and so we can like, it's, you know, sometimes you want to sit and have a, you know, a little confined conversation. So we'll try it, see how it works. Hopefully it works out.
Yeah, that's
it'll be partly soundproof too. So like our office is completely closed in. On the inside, it's painted our FearWorm blue, and then we have a black and blue checkerboard of sound isolating foam. Cool. And so we wanted to make sure that space is quiet, or at least quieter. There's not a roof on it; it's open air. You know, the center doesn't allow us to put a roof on it, but at least from the sides and everything, it'll be fairly, I think, pretty decently.
It will not be air horn nor chainsaw.
Well, yeah, yeah. The
Wait,
train
so
horn.
you guys needed 3 booths?
It's on the schedule. I saw it.
Yeah, Rich.
You're all set.
Tell us a little bit about, what you guys have going on as far as like anything that you want to push or talk about, regards
Well, I
to the
know
show.
for our super fan viewers, we had Rich on in early January, and we talked about all things Transworld. But at the time, there weren't a whole lot of details. The seminar list wasn't posted. The floor plan wasn't fully completed. But now that we're 13 days away from Transworld, all of that's pretty finalized. So, Jen, Rich, what can we talk about now?
This isn't Rich's fault. The floor plan's finalized, but I still have a bunch of exhibitors to add to the exhibitor list, which I'm going to be doing between now and the next 24 hours. So there are going to be probably about 15 more companies that are added.
Yeah, we added a ton of them over the last probably 5 days.
Yeah.
Literally right now on the Halloween side, there's 3 booths left. And on the Christmas side, there's probably about 10 down on the bottom though. So there's not much space.
So these are like last minute ads that are just deciding like 13 days out.
I mean, you'd be surprised. In the last 30 days, we get a lot of people.
Well, and I think there were a lot of changes too due to COVID in the last 30 days for people. So I think it gave them a bigger comfort level to come back and exhibit. So it's a combination of things, really.
Yeah, this year more than any year where people signed up late, just basically probably because they were concerned what it would be like if there would be a show. There's always that fear when you never had a show canceled before and then one gets canceled.
Yeah.
So,
but our numbers are crazy. The hotels are filling up. Like everything is, the excitement and the buzz for the show I haven't seen it in so many years. It's great to hear. The exhibitors are so excited. They've gotten some pre-orders. They know all their clients are coming. They've called me, even some of the big guys are like, we know it's going to be amazing. Normally they're calling me saying, what do you think? And then I'm kind of talking it through with them. But most of the haunts that got to open up are like, we killed it. We have so much money in our pockets, between the money we didn't spend because of COVID and the money that we got.
Save it for marketing. Save it for marketing. Save all that money for marketing.
I literally been on the phone all morning with everyone. And I think it's just like, it's really, I feel good about it.
Yeah, these haunts are going to go on a binger this year at Transworld. They're going to be like buying everything. Well, a lot of people are. We've talked to a lot of people who are like, wow, that was the year that got me enough cash that I can put money back into my event. I can make it different. I can add on a haunt. I can make the changes I've been wanting to do for years.
But stuff in the midway, there's so many places that they're adding. So I'm excited. I'm really super excited about it.
We can tell as well as another vendor at Transworld, like we've had clients contacting us like, you all gonna be at Transworld? We've had leads contacting us saying, yeah, we'd love to talk to you at Transworld. So like we're super excited. So we can definitely vouch for the excitement that maybe all the other vendors are experiencing.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to see that season that we had last year. We talk about like haunted houses, and how we had such a increase in business, right? Industry wide. What have you guys heard about that? Do you have any opinions? We've had like many debates internally about it, but do you guys have any opinion on why the industry did so well?
Yeah. My opinion would be because, we didn't have a lot of, sporting events and a lot of things I think as well that were put on the back burner, or some of the plays, or people may not be weren't maybe traveling as much and doing more things close to home. We had something like that similar after 9/11 too. So I think there's a lot of things that play into it. Rich, what do you think?
Well, yeah, you got to think of it even from a kid's standpoint. A lot of them weren't participating in school activities and sports and things like that. And I think a lot of that, people say, well, they'll look at it and think, well, maybe this was just a one-year thing. I don't believe that it is. I actually think it was a massive advertisement for these haunts and these events. They reinvented themselves. People got to see them that haven't seen them in years. And that's just all new clients. We're looking for things to do. So I think, the advertisement, it probably wasn't as good for, I know you guys did well, but I think a lot of people got away with probably not advertising as much because people were looking for things. Mm-hmm. And now it's going to, you're going to get, when the competition comes back, obviously people are going to need to spend advertising dollars and keep that coming. But I just think the awareness was huge.
Yeah.
During COVID, even,
especially the first year when like none of the theme parks or anything were open too.
Yeah. Yeah. There's, a lot of things even that I participate in that I started doing during COVID. There's some things I picked up that I've never done in my life. And during COVID, I picked these things up, and now I'm doing them all the time. So I think it changed a lot of things for people. But, that being said, every vendor I talk to says, they're taking a tremendous amount of pre-orders. They're getting a ton of people saying they're coming to the show. I think it's going to be really good.
The other thing Patrick and I talk about a lot, and I think this is part of that is true as well. It was already happening before the pandemic, which was people will spend more money on experiences than they want to spend on stuff. They want to travel. They want to go to shows. They want to go to concerts. They want to go do things. And I think the pandemic expedited that years all at once, right? Because it created this huge pent-up demand, and the lack of being able to go do those things told you how much they meant to you and how important they were. Like the latest VRBO ad has, I forget the guy's name. He's one of the Jedis in Star Wars. And he's walking around talking about, hey, do you think when you make it to the end of your life, you're going to say, boy, all the things I should have bought or all the experiences I should have had, And it's true, right? Well, I think we've all learned a lot. So yeah, get out there, have fun. People are going to be wanting to do that. If gas prices stay where they are, we all may be staying close to home for entertainment too. So,
yeah, that's true.
Well, they may be heading north. So
yeah. So what are you most excited about this year? What's getting you revved up?
I'm excited. I'll answer that first. I'm excited to see everyone. It's really, last year was not our normal year, and there was a lot of stress surrounding the show, obviously with working with the St. Louis Pandemic Task Force and trying to make sure that everyone stayed healthy. And that's obviously something we're going to continue to do. But it was a very stressful show. And we're excited to see everyone back in just a better work environment where I think everyone's just excited to see each other. We can do a lot of our parties back to normal. It was very stressful with the numbers that we had to limit, having seminars where we had to put rows and separate people and limit people on what they could and couldn't do. It's just a very hard way when we're used to just having everything so fluid and being able to accommodate everyone for the parties and networking events and the show floor, to have everything all of a sudden become so limited and stressful. So I'm just excited to have more of a relaxed atmosphere. We're obviously excited to see the dark zone back to the way it was. We've talked to a lot of the dark zone exhibitors. They're bringing all their stuff. That's going to be great. I'm personally excited to have the show back without having all of the 40-foot aisleways and having to go to the dome and having 25,000 square feet of dead space. So I'm excited just to have everything back together, and we have carpet. So I'm really excited about that too. I didn't love the way the show looked last year. That's mine. And I don't know. I think Rich did an amazing job laying out the floor this year. I think it's really fluid. And we got a lot of last minute exhibitors that are going to create some exciting stuff. So I just think it's good. I like our parties. I like Christmas on the Farm. There's a lot of add-ons that and I know Rich probably didn't speak about them because they weren't all finished, that we did for this year that I think are going to create a lot of fun networking events.
So let's talk about them. What are the events? Let's run through them and also let people know like what's selling out or what should they like jump on right this minute and buy a ticket to, or they're going to miss it.
The City Museum is more than halfway sold. They do, even though it is a private party, which you guys are the sponsor of, there's a limit where we can't go over that for tickets. I don't know if it's 1,500, something like that. So, those tickets just go so fast, especially when we increase before March 10th happens, where there's a cost increase. So I would definitely say if you want to go to the City Museum, don't wait on that for the show, because they may already be sold out by the time the show wraps around.
What's funny? Like, we agreed to sponsor that event. I don't know, it was a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah.
I had never been. I don't think Ernest had ever been either.
No, I hadn't either.
And so we're like, okay, it seems popular, we'll sponsor it, whatever. Well, man, it was really cool. I had no idea. There's just no way you could ever really explain that experience of the City Museum, right? Like, how do you explain that? You have to go.
I don't know of any other town that has anything like that outside of it's kind of like being in a Gaudi, building in Barcelona, but with slides and a fun house or something.
Yes, I describe it as like a human hamster cage. It's pretty much what it is. So.
But it's so cool, and it's the fact that we get to rent it out completely.
Yeah,
I just think it just adds a level of fun, because then you're just doing everything with your friends, and you're not having to wait in line, behind kids and strangers. So, but I think it's great. So we're really excited about the City Museum. Obviously, we love our Saturday night ball. That's amazing, for the Halloween industry. And the Christmas on the Farm, we really decided to make that more interactive. I think, what did we say? We have a mechanical bull for the show, as well as we've got axe throwing and a bunch of other stuff, and obviously a DJ and things, but there's going to be a lot of elements where people can interact with each other and kind of compete. And I think that's really neat.
So where is that one? What's the night on that one?
And I have another question. Are we going to see Jen on the mechanical bull?
I would love to do that.
I'll give you $100. I'll give you $100.
That's fine. I do it.
Well, you better.
Patrick just lost $100.
$100 because I'm going to video that.
You better specify that it has to be moving and stuff. Otherwise, you'll just climb up there and go, "Thanks, Patrick. I'll take my own."
Yeah, money. That was easy, 100.
I'm going to do the mechanical bull.
The where's that event? Give information about that for people.
At the Marriott on Saturday night. So there are a couple of events that do overlap. We've got a mystery party for the escape room industry on Saturday. We've got the trick or treat ball for the Halloween industry, and then we've got something for Christmas. But Christmas on the farm is really for everyone. I mean, so it's not. I hope people don't just go ahead and pigeonhole themselves into one thing based on something product they're coming to the show for, because I think a lot of people are just going to be going to everything.
Mm-hmm. Does the escape room party have like a secret knock to get in?
No, it's easy to get in. It's just real hard to leave.
Yeah. That we added for this year, which is really great, is the networking night out on Wednesday night. If you're not taking the pre-convention bus tour and you're going to be in town, it's going to be amazing. We did it last year for the escape room industry, where people got a chance to sit down and kind of ask different questions or different topics at the tables with industry experts there to help facilitate it. But now we have it for all the industries. So we're going to have Christmas there, escape, and Halloween. So you can kind of go, because we know now a lot of people are like crossing over into the different industries. So there'll be experts there for everything, and you can sit down and have group discussions. And it's different than a seminar because it's really more hands-on. You get a chance to really connect in a different way. It's not necessarily as much information as maybe you would get from a particular topic, but you do get everyone's feedback. And I think there's something important to that. So that's Wednesday night.
Where is Wednesday night, and where is this? And do you need a ticket for that, or how does that work?
It's at the Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
That's a free event, or how does that work?
It's a paid event.
It's a paid event. But
you get a dinner and everything.
So each table has a subject, and you'll be able to choose if you want to go engage in that subject. So, like if you're a haunt owner and there was something that was geared towards, ticketing or whatever, you'll be able to engage in that group and, move around to different tables and stuff like that.
And we have all the different topics on the website, so you can kind of look at that, but it's almost like speed dating for haunters.
So who would you recommend it for? Like, who's like the most likely person that should attend that?
Everybody.
I think everyone, because I think it's for people who are beginning, but also people that are like already into it, thinking about, hey, maybe I want to add a Christmas event, or maybe I want to hear more about escape. I mean, I really think that there's a nugget there that you're going to get no matter at what level you're at. I mean, when you get a chance to talk to Dwayne Sandburn, and I mean, we've got a lot of big names, and Randy Bates, and a lot of guys in the Christmas industry that are going to do it. I mean, I think you're getting years of expertise. Why reinvent the wheel if you can be able to pick someone's brain?
It's a great opportunity to meet some of the people that have been in the industry for a long time. They're going to be there helping these conversations. So, some people are, introverts. They're afraid to go up and talk to someone. This is a great opportunity to get in there. You're in a group discussion. You can sit there and say nothing, or you can join in, but, to me, that's probably one of the most important nights of the show. To go to something like that. I think a lot of people take that stuff for granted. They think, our show brings so much entertainment that you get caught up in that and forget that you're there for business. And stuff like this, the night parties aren't about really partying if you do it the right way. It's really about meeting somebody and talking to them and finding out an idea that you would have never done. You know what I mean? And they help you through that. So that's why I like the networking events. I think they're more.
I know.
Building.
I think Rich, you're totally dead on. And Ernest has brought that up before himself of like, we can't tell you how many people have come up to our booth and talked to us. And then it's like, oh, well, hey, after the show, let's go here. Or are you going to this event? And it's just that networking that's incredible. Yeah.
I think exhibitors miss out on that. That's one thing that, like, if I was an exhibitor, I would buy some of those networking events because it's really a good time for you to mingle with your buyers.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if I'm a buyer, we all buy from who we trust, that we feel more comfortable, or it has to be a referral from a friend. Those are the strongest leads. You know what I mean? If I bring somebody over to you and say, hey, these guys are good guys, use them, whatever, they're more than likely probably going to work with you as long as they're comfortable. But to me, that's how you make those relationships. It's like going out on the golf course. They say there's more deals made on a golf course than it is in an office. So when you're there, you're meeting these people and talking to them, or hanging out at a bar later, or you become friends. And, next thing you know, they're telling 8 of their friends to buy from you or to work with you.
Yeah.
So to me, I agree. All of our events are very important. That's why we try to keep everything flowing all night long to keep this. And it's St. Louis works well for us for that too, because it keeps everybody together. And that's really what the show's about.
But you guys should also check out Casino Night. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that was our biggest buzz last year. People that
Laura heard that,
and we only
said they had the most fun.
And we could only do 150 people. Even Dan Howard, who's been going to the show for years, it's probably a household name. You guys know. He's like, Jenny, that was the best thing you guys ever did. I mean, and we had to limit it. So this year, obviously, we don't have to do all of those things. So I think I wouldn't wait to buy tickets, till the show, because sometimes you do have a chance of not getting into what you want to get into, especially if you're bringing a few people with you. But, start looking at, your entertainment and start planning ahead, because it enables you to be able to actually, participate. So,
yeah. And when is Casino Night, and where's that?
Casino Night is Friday night, and that is at the Holiday Inn. The other event we have going on that night too is the Vampire Circus, which is amazing. It's like a circus away with some comedy. If you guys haven't had a chance to see it yet, and I know they mix it up every year, it's an amazing event. It really is.
Yeah, there's
funny
so
vampires.
much going on. It's crazy.
Like funny dancing vampires. What is?
No, I mean, they're acrobatic. I mean, they do it on the stage at the auditorium where they hold concerts. I don't know if you guys realize that or not, but St. Louis has this like beautiful
It's a Vegas
auditorium
show.
there. Yeah, it really is. It's a Vegas style show that they happen to exhibit, because they also are, they promote themselves and they go to a lot of events and do a lot of things, but they put on an amazing production. So we're lucky to have them.
I've seen it twice. I would go again if I had the time this year. It's just fun, and the comedy is really good. It's a family business, so it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had that humor. I mean, we talked to them at the show last year and checked them out. It's really interesting. I haven't been to the show, but I've seen the video. But
Yeah, the guy who runs it is he's hilarious.
Yeah.
The stuff he does is so funny, like during the show. It's really good.
So that's another one that you guys should definitely check out. And then we also have our free mixers. I just want to plug those for the Christmas industry and the escape room industry. So, you guys should definitely take advantage of those. It's usually, I think, 5:30 to 7:30 or 5 to 7:30, 5:30 to 7 at the Holiday Inn, Friday and Saturday night. So you should definitely, I believe the Christmas mixers Friday, and the room escape mixer, I believe, Saturday. So you guys should do that. There's some free food and a cash bar. So
yeah. So one of the things that I think I've been in this industry for about 9 years now, and I was always pushed with attraction owners of like, how else can you generate revenue? Don't just think about 5 weeks before Halloween. What else can you do? What else can you do those nights? Can you have a store? Can you do midways? What products can you sell? The escape rooms, the axe throwing, everything else. But then also a lot of, owners are sitting on a piece of land or a facility 12 months out of the year, they're paying rent and insurance on it. So why not use it? Right. And so I get really excited that all these things are together, the Christmas shows, the escape rooms, the everything else that anybody can learn about. So I think using Transworld as an opportunity to investigate all those other options, don't just think about, September 20th till October 31st, how do these things fit in? Because, we always say, hey, if you can pay for your facility and pay for your insurance and those things with your off-season events, then your Halloween becomes gravy.
yeah, Rich is doing a seminar similar to that.
Yeah, that's always been our goal. Whenever I came and started working for the company, like my business, when I used to live in Pittsburgh and I had property, and everything I did was a combination of several businesses. And I've always felt that it's very successful, because even when my strong business was having a weak month or a weak couple months, I had some other things going on that kept the money rolling in. And I think, in the haunt industry and the Christmas industry, being that they're seasonal events, we can see, you guys probably even know from the advertising, that these guys are expanding out and they're adding every day that they can throughout the year to open up. So we have 2 seminars that are going to be going on. It's a part 1 and a part 2 series. Ben Armstrong's doing one, I'm doing the other. We're basically hosting it. And then we're going to have several major, players in the industry that have pretty successful venues that are going to be on panels. So, I'll have 4 people on mine. I have 4 major haunted houses in the United States that are doing more things than just the haunt. Some of them may have a midway, some of them may have amazing gift shops, some of them have paintball fields, some of them do gel blaster and jelly ball, some are doing bazooka ball, some are doing escape rooms. So we're going to talk about all that. And these 4 guys on the panel are going to have an opportunity to explain what was successful for them so that somebody new's out there. And I'll tell you one thing that really, blew my mind was the fact that some of them realized that even though everyone says, I don't have enough space, or I can't this, or I can't that, you don't need much to add some of these things. But the revenue and the excitement that it brings along with your event, like think about it. The haunted house in reality, if we were breaking it down, most of them you can walk through in 15 to 20 minutes. So if you're spending time in line and you're doing all this, I always felt myself like there was, a little, after you're done the haunted house, you're like, all right, what else are we doing? You're all geared up and wired up. Now the midways are becoming huge because people want to stay.
Well, you can make a night out of it. You
Right.
can,
Yeah.
so to the point, some of Ben's seminars, Ben's going to be talking about food and alcohol and all the other add-ons. So
The
Rich's
concessions, yeah.
will be more about what other entertainment,
Mine are about activities.
And
Ben's are more about food.
food and photo ops and
Yeah,
gift
and the
shops.
photo-
I feel people would rather spend $70 a head and be there all night, Friday night, than $30 a head and be there for 30 minutes.
They want to they go on dates. I watch them. I mean, they want to make a night out of it,
And,
and
yeah.
it's fun. They don't want the excitement to stop. And that's why all the photo ops and the 5-minute escapes and gel blasters and all those things, they keep the night going.
We've learned it ourselves because we both have kids, and I think the farms kind of do it right. And then a lot of the haunted houses are picking up on that. They don't have the land that a farm does, but the farms, they bring the people in, and they generally don't have a ticket price. Theirs is a little bit different. They let you get in for free, but everything's a la carte, and they make their profit on all the add-ons. Now the haunted houses have a set fee, and their tickets are pretty inexpensive. I mean, for a night to go to a haunted house, an average is $30 to $50 on the high end. Most people buy that ticket in advance online, so when they come, there's an opportunity to catch a considerable amount of money. You know what I mean? And instead of always trying, we're always geared toward, I need more customers. I need more customers. I need more customers. Why not try to get more money, more revenue out of the customers that are currently coming and provide them with a better night? Yeah. And that's kind of what these seminars are on. I honestly think, they're only an hour long. They're going to touch, the basics of things that you can do. But the cool part about it is the people that are on both panels, we selected people that are very approachable, that you can talk to. You're going to have their names and their numbers, and they're going to be happy to talk to you later if you want to call them or talk to them on the show floor and get some ideas, or even take it to a level of what they've done. The one thing that all the big and successful venues do is they visit other venues. They don't just look at their place and say, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. They reach out and they go and they visit other haunted houses or other Christmas events so they can do it better. And that's what all these guys are on the panel, they've done that. So they're going to have a lot of information to give you.
This is one industry that's, for the most part, so open to share. I know haunt owners that have off season gone to, I don't know, Chicago or whatever, and they just call up people and they say, yeah, I'll open it up so you can come tour through, right?
Yeah, you're 100%,
very
you're 100% right.
Yeah, there's no money transfer. There's nothing. It's just this, share it. And I've always been the huge proponent that if everybody succeeds, we'll all do better, right?
Yeah.
Welcome good competition, not crappy competition, because crappy competition.
That's the goal. Yeah. As long as we're all making, significant strides and making more profit, then everybody's happier and everybody works harder to make it better. So, that's the whole goal in all of it, and you realize that even with your competitors, it's not about, like, I don't want this guy there and I don't want, it's good for everybody. If there's more competition,
there's no number one if there's no number two, right?
As long as everyone's doing it right and being honest, then you're in good shape.
Yeah, you work harder when there's competition.
That is true, yeah, because if someone else isn't playing right, that makes everyone look bad. Yeah.
Right.
For sure, 100%.
This industry is only, all of our customers, your customers, are in the entertainment industry, not the haunted attraction industry. And the entertainment pie of money is gigantic, and we're not even taking a slice,
It's amazing for me over the years to see it evolve, because I remember, God, years back, I've been doing this forever, where a lot of these guys were just doing it as a second job. You know, they had their main job and then they would do this on the weekends or whatever. And now, you know, the industry has really grown where people can do what they love. I mean, and I just think that's amazing. And it didn't used to be that way. I mean,
yeah, honestly. And that's the goal of these seminars too, not to hit on them again, but it's about being able to keep employees all year long, having the revenue to be able to advertise, you know, not having to depend on having a bad season, because we all know in haunt season that if you have crappy weather, it could highly affect your numbers. So if you have something going on, you know, besides that, you know, like maybe running some birthday parties at your place or paintball or jelly ball or whatever, it's going to just increase revenue all year long. You know, what's cool about one of these haunts that are actually, two of them that are coming, they generate so much money from their paintball fields that they fully fund their haunted houses now. Where before, when they had a bad year, it was like, oh, what are we going to do? Now they're like, okay, all right, we had a bad year, but that's okay. We'll be fine next year. The weather will be great. You know, it really helps you to add on some additional things.
As you can tell, we're trying to encourage. It's not just about the seminars, but we want people to really think outside the box. And I think especially with COVID, it's taught us so much and how to do things differently that I don't think Rich and I can stress more that you really, if you've got property, you should try to add other things, because we want to see this industry be successful. And we know that when haunts couldn't open up, some people were able to open up their paintball fields and they were able to do different types of revenue. So we just want to see people succeed, and we want to see the industry stay strong. And I saw a lot of people pivot too and start some drive-through Christmas shows if they had the room, you know, and do some other things, because people could go in cars together, but they couldn't actually go into structured facilities. So there's just a lot of different ways. And we're hoping that we try to do a lot of different classes so that people could take advantage of how to start learning about those things.
And keeping that employee all year long is like the biggest thing that I think with all this. I mean, how many of these haunted houses have amazing employees that they're so dedicated, but it really comes down to money for them. You know, if they find a job that's going to change their life and make it more supportive for what they need in their regular life, they have to move on. And the shame of it is, owning a haunted house and only having a seasonal event, it's really hard. They keep a few employees throughout the year, but adding these extra events will really help you keep those second-tier employees full-time.
Yeah. Also, you made an important point. I think, you know, a lot of people are buying their tickets ahead of time. You might have bought your ticket a week or two ahead of time. Yep. So that money's already spent, and you're not thinking about it necessarily when you're there on Friday night. If you got $20 in pocket, it's still $20 in pocket, not like you already spent that money. You know, maybe it makes people a little more apt to go ahead and buy the T-shirt or play the game. You know,
well, it's the same thing with our show. A lot of times people say to me, "I wish you just make one price for everything." Well, now I'm really I'm diving deep into their pockets. So I think it's about the fact that people can buy things, you know, the way they want to buy them.
Yeah, you can't have a $500 or $600 ticket because it doesn't suit everybody. And I learned that back when I had when I was running my paintball field and I had a zombie ride. We realized that it was just about, you know, instead of trying to make all the money off the ticket, think about it at a sporting event. If you're going to a baseball game or a football game, you don't buy your tickets the day of. Most of those events are sold out in advance. So the majority of us live paycheck to paycheck, and that's just the reality of life. And if you bought those tickets in advance, when you come and you bring a family of 4 or 5, you're more likely to buy the popcorn and buy the other things, you know, because you already spent your money on the ticket a while ago. So the business is, I can't stress it more, it's not about adding more customers. We all want that. It's really about giving the customers that you have a better time and give them some value adds and capturing additional revenue from them.
Yeah.
We had customers that had too many customers last year, right?
Yeah, we had a lot of haunts that happened.
Yeah, they're like, never again. So let me find ways to generate the revenue I need to generate, because you're going to hurt their experience, right?
Yeah,
there's only so many people can go through in a night without ruining the experience.
Yeah, no, we had that happen. There were a couple haunts we visited, and they were like a deer in headlights. Like, we don't know what to do. Our numbers are so crazy that and they were worried that if they kept putting people through, it would change the experience, and then they get a bad review or, you know, whatever it is.
Man, that's funny. It reminds me when I was with the House of Torment back in the day. We experienced massive growth when I was working with those guys in Austin. We had this idea to hide the line, because we had this line that everybody could see, and they were driving off. We're like, we're gonna hide it. So we brought the line inside. So we had the queue line hidden. So like it looked like when you saw the first line, it was short. Like, oh yeah. So people would drive up. and they would have to go and get this other line. It was hidden inside.
It's like when you're waiting in line for the roller coaster and you think you're almost there and you turn the corner and there's another whole room.
It was it looked good on paper, by the way, but people were there smoking. It was a bad idea.
When Netherworld had their one of their first locations, and Rich and I were going to visit them, and we drove up. I was like, "Oh my God, seriously!"
Yeah,
it was like, I was like, "Oh, you could see it from the street," and it was just.
Wow.
I was like, "Wow, this is it's intimidating." Sometimes.
Yeah, we had some lines this year that you could probably see from space. We had never seen. Clients had never seen that kind of.
I think lines make excitement, right? Like there's that, oh, I don't want to wait in line, but it's also like, oh, I want to wait in line because all these other people are waiting in line.
Except for when it goes out the door, around the parking lot.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Unless it's 5 hours long, like some clients had, then it's an issue.
No, it's cool. One of the coolest things I saw this year was, fortunately, we run the Legendary Haunt Tour and we get to go on that, and it's designed to be after the season so that a lot of our peers can go. But the cool part about it is, going to 13th Gate was, I was blown away by how late in the year it was. The season was over and we're doing Legendary, and he opened that night. And the lines were wrapped all the way around the corner and down the street. And I'm like, where are these people coming from on on a weekend, well after the season's over?
Yeah, like November 12th.
Yeah, November 12th. It's like 2 weeks after the season, and he still got lines that most people would die for on a regular night.
But people go to horror movies in May, right? They go to other fun attractions.
I just think people don't want Halloween. There's a new thing. Halloween used to be, the month of October. Then Halloween started getting in September. I go into the Home Depots and I go in everywhere else. It's in August now.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just moving up. Even if you go into a home goods store, you see the stuff, coming in August. And I remember looking at Rich and
even July.
This is insane what's going on. They're just, and then you go right into Christmas. And now that all these Christmas events are happening, it's amazing. But we want to make sure too, the one thing is if you guys do have any questions, because we really came on to speak to your audience, that we can answer. And we love talking to you guys, but it's hard to get Rich and I on the phone.
We're trying to ask, everybody ask your questions, please.
Yeah, I had the scroll on the bottom prompting these, and we do have some questions. And so a few people have asked about the tribute store. So Jen, could you talk about, or Rich, could you talk about the tribute store? What's all that involved?
So I have to say that it was Eric's brainchild, and it's actually a great idea. We went ahead and we had a few of our, favorite exhibitors that were kind enough to create kind of one of a kind product for us. It's a limited run. We'll obviously at the tribute store have our traditional t-shirts and sweatshirts. We do have some different kinds of t-shirts and sweatshirts too as well. We expanded our product category, but we're also going to be selling, these exhibitors created this amazing stuff that you won't be seeing in their booth. It's very reasonably priced. We've got a couple of exhibitors participating. Because Eric isn't here, he's coming into town on Tuesday. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say the names of the companies right now.
No, last time we were on, he said that he was we're going to do a show of our own.
I don't think I'm allowed to say much, but we are very excited about it. And I think that people will get to walk away with some really neat stuff. And
is that located on the show floor?
No, the tribute store will be kind of, if you guys know where the merch booth was last year, kind of where registration is. We built, Eric built this beautiful mausoleum. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We're excited.
This is kind of a general question, but Danny was asking, besides comfortable shoes, what is your biggest tip for a first timer? Any suggestions on spots to hit first?
That's a good question. Are you talking on the show floor or what activities to do?
I think so. Yeah. It's first timer to Transworld. What should they do?
I would say both.
Prepare for?
Hydrate.
I would go to as many of the early bird seminars as you can because they're free. They're included in the price of your ticket. And I think a lot of them this year are going to be really good. So there's a bunch of different offerings. I would do that. I think the networking night out on Wednesday night is a really good thing for a first timer because you really get to talk to a lot of industry leaders. And that's a rare opportunity. I mean, obviously you can go and hear them speak in class, but to actually talk to them, I think is great. I'd wear comfortable shoes. I'd hydrate. I'd make sure you get a good night's sleep.
Advil. Someone says Advil.
Advil.
Yeah.
I just think, and I think the key to everything is walking the show floor first too, before you buy, being able to really get a sense of what's there and being able to ask questions to the exhibitors, and then be able to go home and kind of either look through catalogs or online and just whatever pictures you may have taken, and really think about, how you want to proceed. I wouldn't wait too long to Sunday, because a lot of things can be sold out, and especially with some of the issues people are having with fulfillment, overall with, different parts of the country getting different stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wait to Sunday to place your order. I think if you see something and you're there on Thursday, go back on Friday and place the order. I wouldn't
Sure.
wait the weekend.
Yeah, for me, obviously you want comfortable shoes. What I do when I go to a trade show is I take my phone, and when I'm walking around booths that I want to revisit, I take a photo of them and I have them on my phone and I keep them. And generally I'll scout the floor first. I go up and down every single aisle and kind of look at things and work my way through the entire show. And then the second day is usually when I purchase, or when I'm looking to, I'll go back and I assess where I really want to visit. And then I walk the whole show again the second day, but I know what booths I'm stopping at, and maybe I missed something, because I will tell you, no matter how many times you walk the floor, you always miss something, because if you take two steps right and somebody only has a 10 by 10 booth, you walk right past them.
Yes.
So, basically it only takes 2 to 3 steps to walk by an entire booth. So if you're looking one way and not the other, you generally miss some. And our show's pretty hectic, so you really have to pay attention to what's going on.
It's not your normal. It's not your normal trade show.
No, it's good to have somebody with you. When you're by yourself, it's hard too, because you miss a lot of things. Yeah. That's why a lot of people say, "Oh, why do haunted houses bring some of their actors and things like that?" Well,
they split
I'll
up.
be honest with you. Like I said this on another show that we were on. One of our longtime exhibitors, probably been with us for over 20 years. He said to me, he's like, I think it's funny when people say, "Oh, why does a haunted house bring their actors or whatever?" Well, he says, I get more business from an actor coming over and seeing my prop and saying, "We got to have that in my haunted house." And then they run back and get their owner and bring them over.
It's hard to see everything.
Yeah.
So they need a staff to kind of navigate the floor for them.
That's a nice reward too for your actors, to say, "Hey."
It makes them feel that they're part of building your show.
Well, and a lot of the actors do buy their own costumes. So when they are at the show, they are buying the masks, they are buying the costumes, they're buying a lot of things like that. Yeah. The haunted houses all haunted houses don't provide that stuff. So a lot of these guys have their own costumes, and they actually, it's a big deal to them, getting what they want. So that's a big part of the show too.
It's an industry of interest, right? And so it's just people do this because they're really interested and they like it. And so it makes sense.
I see Tyler let's do the next one. Go ahead.
Well, this one might even be a little tongue in cheek, but it's from our friend Tater. He's asking, is there something going on in Chicago on Wednesday that leads to Transworld?
Yes, we do. We have a pre-convention bus tour, Windy City pre-convention bus tour, and Tater will be on bus 2. But we have the opportunity. The buses at this point are filled, but you still have the opportunity to rent a car and drive into Chicago. So the tour itself is starting in Chicago. A lot of people, we have the hotels reserved for Tuesday night because the tour is leaving really early on Wednesday morning to get started to make our way down to St. Louis. So we have some people purchasing tickets and flying in to O'Hare and then flying out of St. Louis. I just want to make that clear. The bus doesn't leave from St. Louis and go to Chicago and come back to St. Louis. The whole tour starts in Chicago. For this show, a lot of people drive. So what they would do is just start in Chicago instead of driving to St. Louis. Mm-hmm. And then the goal is, knock on wood, to have everyone there by 10:30 at night in St. Louis. It could be a little later, maybe more like 11. But we're seeing a bunch of great haunts. John the Flamboy is opening up Hell's Gate. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of it. He's going to be our kickoff. We're going to go there and we're going to have breakfast and donuts. And John himself is going to be doing a guided tour of his whole facility. So you'll get to answer questions from him. He's going to show us, he's going to lift up the curtain for you guys. So I think it's going to be, he has his whole team there to answer questions and take you through everything. So I think
awesome.
Sounds cool.
But that is without actors. It's going to be completely lights on. Just to be clear, there's a lot of things with that haunt that have to do with being outside. In March in Chicago, that time of year is a little difficult. So we decided to do a lights on for that tour. And then they're going to be going to, after that, we're going straight to Disturbia Haunted House. And then from there, they're going to be going to Massacre Haunted House. And then we're going to end at Basement of the Dead Haunted House. That'll be the last one. We are serving meals on this tour. The other 3 haunts will be completely full shows with actors. And the owners will be on site to answer questions and things like that. I think it's going to be great. I mean, I think that the tour itself for all the things you're getting is reasonably priced, especially if you're taking the bus. And there's going to be meals, there's going to be snacks. It's going to be a great tour, and it's a good time to kind of network with the group. We've got a lot of haunted house owners flying in from different parts of the country, even some overseas. And I think it's great to have a group of people too that you can network with, as well as going through and seeing these haunts, because getting their opinions, because sometimes they may see something that you don't see. And they're haunt owners, so they're looking at it in a different way than the average patron would. So I think there's a lot of benefit to being able to see these haunted houses.
Yeah, indeed. What is Alan Hopp saying, Tyler? What did he say? It's never 10:30?
Yeah, he says never 10:30 that the buses.
But we're leaving. We're leaving at 7. Tell Alan that. 7 o'clock we start.
And Alan also said Hell's Gate is amazing, which I can attest to. We got to see Hell's Gate on the pre-convention bus tour at MHC. I think it was 2019. It was like before the pandemic. And it's amazing. Like, I wish I could be there for the Lights On tour, because just in show lights with actors and everything, it was incredible. So that alone is worth the price of admission of the Transworld bus tour this year.
They're one of the haunts that are going to be on our panel too. So they have a paintball field there. They built a nice, beautiful midway this year. The big screen TV there. It's pretty cool. They got a great gift shop, so you'll get to see some of that stuff there. And those are things that we're going to be talking about in the summer.
Oh, hey, yeah. Speaking of bus tour, Midwest. So what's the situation on Midwest?
Well, we just got this really shitty sponsor. I'm just kidding. You kind of deserved it, Patrick.
Oh, that was awesome.
But we are
Like, if I'm ever putting together a blooper reel again for FearWorm videos, that's going in it.
No, sorry, Ernest, you didn't deserve that. Patrick did.
That's awesome.
We're really excited for MHC this year. We're going to be announcing the bus tour. We're announcing everything at Transworld, but I did happen to be in a conversation with FearWorm, and they were so excited about the MHC bus tour this year, they decided to be the sponsor of it. And Froggy's Fog is going to be the premier sponsor for the show too, as well as Donate Insurance. So we're really excited, but you guys, so definitely join us on the pre-convention bus tour for MHC too, if for whatever reason Chicago doesn't work for you.
We'll leave Patrick at home for that one.
Alex says sick burn. Burn. Got me.
I also wanted to talk about, so I know that's, I think maybe Patrick, you're trying to segue into some FearWorm happenings going on during Transworld and future things. We do have a new blog that went up today on fearworm.com that talks about all of our happenings going on at Transworld. So not only are you going to see the team at the City Museum, we're the sponsor of that event, we have 2 seminars happening during Transworld this year. Obviously, we have our free marketing seminar that is at 11 or 11:30 on Saturday. I know Laura and Tashana from our team are in the comments right now. They'll be posting a link to our blog, and I think hopefully posting information about the seminars. But the other seminar that we're doing is, I believe, on Friday. It is an escape room seminar. Is it Thursday or is it Friday? I think it's Friday.
We'll be there.
But yeah, the team, we'll put the information in the comments of this video, but it's an escape room seminar all about Facebook advertising. And I was working on the seminar deck, and our team were just kind of putting the last bit of touches on it. But basically, you're going to learn how to build a Facebook ad campaign, start to finish, with all the bells and whistles, like everything. So you're going to walk away from that class really knowing the ins and outs of Facebook and Instagram advertising, but particularly with the focus of escape rooms. So if you have an escape room and you're going to the escape room show, be sure to go to our FearWorm seminar. We'll put the information in the comments.
And it's a perfect. I was going to say it's a perfect seminar too for escape room people, that we're doing, because a lot of times there's lower marketing budgets. They have little money for that, right? And so to be able to help them in that industry kind of come up with that expertise is huge. When you talk about bigger haunts that have so many things going on, so many different levels, you need a lot of extra service. But the thing is with escape rooms, man, if this budget's a little smaller, so the more you can do on your own and learn, about Facebook marketing, Instagram marketing, organic reach, it'll it'll help so much. So I think this is such a great idea to do this escape room seminar specifically this way.
No, thank you for that. And just to not add confusion, we do have a seminar that is similar that talks about a lot of digital marketing and other things that is a focus more on attractions for like the Halloween and the larger attractions. So I think we're trying to cover our basis for people like you guys said that are in the escape room industry and may have a different size budget than someone that is bringing, huge numbers and can do things. So
I want Jen. I want to also hit on what you just mentioned, because that's what I grounded the escape room seminar in. Is like in the seminar, I'm going to have what I'm calling our demo scenario, where we have this kind of imaginary escape room, and I talk about here's a monthly budget, and obviously it's not as grandiose as maybe a seasonal haunt budget would be, but I break it down on the daily spends, what this should be, all of that stuff. And I'm calling it the demo scenario because you'll be able to walk away basically through a workshop of how to build an ad campaign for an escape room from start to finish.
No,
And Jen, I promise, as soon as I get the deck done, I will send it to you.
How do you get the price down on the conversion to make it work too, right? For an escape room, how do you find the right people, the right targets, and to bring those costs down?
Those are the most challenging campaigns to work on. Oh, but funny. Hey, real quick, the other one that you're talking about, there's a haunted marketing seminar. Is that the one with Nick Francis?
Yes.
And what is that one? And that was about social media, right?
Yeah.
We have a real interest in that. And that is something we always talk about with our clients and where we're heading with social media, doing year-round social media to be present. So that's what he's basically talking about, or what is that seminar about?
Yeah, it's going to touch on Facebook too. I mean, I know Nick sits on the board for some of the Facebook stuff. He's been involved, from the very beginning with all that. So I think it's going to be a combination of things. You guys were kind enough, we need something for everyone. So, and I know that you guys do things on a larger scale too. I'm aware of it, but I appreciate you guys also understanding that we have different aspects of the show that we need to be able to cover. So I think we've got Nick doing, the digital marketing and all that stuff. And then we've got you guys as well being able to help people navigate on maybe a tighter budget and, some.
Well, that's the thing with marketing. It's such an umbrella term. I mean, it can be so many things. It's not just social media. It's email. It's PR. It's everything, like really. And so
marketing is everything that goes into selling something.
Yeah, for sure.
Advertising is one little part.
No, and I think there's a lot of classes, different classes. Be sure to look at all the seminars. There's a lot of options to look at and take based on what your needs are.
Yeah, I mean, how to scare people. I mean, we have everything with detailing and painting. I mean, we have so many seminars. There's something really for everyone. So, we hope everyone gets a chance to really scroll through them. The other thing too is if people do have questions on the seminars, feel free to send us an email. We can help clarify things for you guys too.
For sure.
Just so you know, Tyler, ours is on Thursday, the escape room at 2:00. So
okay.
On the calendar.
Thursday. Thursday at 2.
Right. That one right. And I remember some things. I don't remember dates and times very well these days, but that one I do.
So it sounds like there's a lot going on. Everybody's super excited for Transworld. We don't have really any more questions or anything. But I just want to thank Rich, Jen, for coming on, talking about all things happening. That's just 13 days away. Yes. And that's just a show. Actual Transworld activities happens even sooner than that if you're doing the bus tour and all that stuff.
Yep.
So thanks for coming on today. If you don't mind, just hang out a little bit after the broadcast. Just hang out with us for a second after we end the broadcast. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Patrick, Ernest, thank you for joining me today with the Transworld team. And I don't know, does anybody have any final comments?
I do.
Questions?
There's 18,484 minutes until the doors open.
We were talking about that prior to the show. And we're excited to see everyone. Yes. I mean, really. And we're grateful to the industry for allowing us year after year to produce an amazing show. So thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And guys, next Friday's Wormhole, special guest, Alan Hops from Still Be Studios. We're talking with Alan. We're talking his seminar. We're talking about Still Be Studios. We're talking everything with Alan next week. So be sure to tune in to next Friday's FearWorm Wormhole.
And I have to say, just to give a shout out to Alan, one of his seminars is the largest selling seminars right now. So
it always is.
I'm selling drugs.
No, but that's the third largest one. So Alan, way to go. He picked his topics. He did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
They're also always the loudest seminars.
Yeah, they're out loud.
Yes, they are.
Especially when they're right next to yours.
We learned that lesson the hard way one year when our seminar was at the same time as Alan's and like right next door. So I happened to yell at people about marketing.
That's so funny.
Everybody, well, that's it for today's Wormhole. Jen and Rich, please stay on. We'll talk with you in a minute. And y'all have a great weekend. Go see the new Batman. It's awesome.
I know.
All right, everybody. Have a great day.
If you have an interest in being a guest on the Wormhole or an idea for a topic of discussion, please email admin@fearworm.com.